I'm 37, I destroyed 2 marriages the same way, and I'm terrified I'll never change. I'm 37 years old, living in Cleveland, Ohio. And I feel like I've ruined my life twice in almost the exact same way. I keep replaying everything in my head and I can't figure out why I do this to myself. Why I can't just be content. Why I keep chasing the wrong kind of excitement, and why I seem wired to destroy the good things I have. Growing up, I was always the wild one. In school, I was popular. I hung out with the cool crowd, and I loved being the center of attention. I never cared about studying or planning for the future. My dream wasn't a career or college, it was finding a man who could take care of me. I thought if I looked good and stayed fun, I'd just land someone successful and coast into a comfortable life as a housewife. When I was 18, I met Francis. He was 21, studying civil engineering, and already had money saved up from working hard during and after high school. He was smart, steady, and ambitious. Not the most exciting man, but I saw stability and a future with him. He adored me, and I thought that was enough. But then I met Todd at the gym. He was everything Francis wasn't: fit, wild, reckless, and fun. I couldn't resist him. We started sleeping together whenever Francis was out studying or working. It went on for years. I told myself it didn't matter, that Francis didn't need to know. But one day Francis came home early and caught us in his own bed. The look on his face. I'll never forget it. He screamed, threw our clothes out onto the lawn, and told us to get out. He blocked me, refused to talk to me again, and eventually told me to leave him alone forever. That was the end. I stayed with Todd for about a year, but it was obvious. We had no future. He wasn't stable, had no career, and I still wanted that dream life. So I left him too. At 26, I met Caleb. I was working at a grocery store when he walked in, older, 33, wearing a suit, confident with striking blue eyes. He looked like everything I thought I wanted in a man. He asked me for coffee that same evening, and we hit it off immediately. Within 2 years, I had moved into his big, beautiful house. I quit my job, started living the life I had always dreamed of. I took care of the home, cooked, cleaned, and in return had love, security, and financial stability. A few years later, he proposed. Our wedding was beautiful, with both our families there. It was the happiest day of my life. I thought I had finally grown up. But after a few years, I started to feel restless. The life I thought I wanted felt boring, empty. I became close with 2 housewives in the neighborhood, Emma and Mia, and we'd drink wine together, go to clubs, act like we were young again. They flirted with men sometimes, but they knew when to stop. I didn't. I started sleeping with random guys I met at clubs, sometimes in the bathrooms, sometimes at their homes during the day when Caleb was at work. I felt this rush, this secret thrill, but afterwards I felt guilty. Caleb noticed changes in me. He asked more than once if I was okay. I lied. About 10 months ago, Caleb texted me from work, saying we needed to talk that evening. I had no idea what he knew. When he came home, he sat me down and asked directly if I'd been cheating. I denied it over and over, but he just stared at me with no expression. Then he told me how he found out. At work, Leo had been bragging to some coworkers about meeting a hot woman he was hooking up with. He described me in enough detail, my hair, the area I lived in, little things, that Caleb's ears perked up. Caleb asked him outright for a name, if he was willing to share it. And when Leo said my name, everything fell apart. Leo hadn't even realized I was Caleb's wife until that moment. He came clean right away, admitted it, and apologized to Caleb. Caleb told me all of this, and my whole world crumbled. I confessed. I told him it was a mistake, that I regretted it, that I'd stop. I begged him to forgive me. He just looked at me coldly and said, "A mistake? You slept with him at least 5 times at his home. Pack your things, you're gone tomorrow." I called my parents in tears that night. My dad screamed at me, said I was making the same stupid mistakes I made years ago with Francis, that I had learned nothing. My mom told me I needed therapy, that something was deeply wrong with me. The next morning they came over, helped me pack, and I left. Caleb filed for divorce immediately, and because of an infidelity clause in our prenup, I got almost nothing. just a small sum to keep me afloat. Since then, I've been trying to pick up the pieces. I stayed with my parents for months, and 2 months ago, I moved into a small apartment. My parents helped me get started financially, and I'm paying them back every month. I'm looking for work again, probably in retail or at a supermarket. But the truth is, I don't even trust myself. I had 2 men who gave me love, security, and stability, and I destroyed both relationships the same way. It's like I can't handle peace. I crave excitement, attention, and when life gets stable, I go looking for chaos. And then I lose everything. I feel disgusted with myself, ashamed. I keep seeing Caleb's face when he told me to pack my things. I keep remembering Francis throwing me out of his house. I promised myself I'd never be here again, and yet here I am, at 37, alone in a small apartment, starting from nothing again. I don't want to keep living like this. I don't want to keep blowing up my life and hurting the people who love me. I want to change. I want to finally grow up, to be someone who can be stable and trustworthy, someone who doesn't ruin everything for a cheap thrill. But I don't know where to start. Therapy is expensive, but maybe I need to find a way to do it, because clearly I can't stop myself on my own. If anyone has been through something like this, or has advice on how to actually break these destructive patterns, I'd be grateful to hear it. I know I can't undo the past. Francis is gone. Caleb is gone. I burned those bridges forever. But I don't want to keep repeating this for the rest of my life. I want to finally stop sabotaging myself. Thank you for reading this. Writing it. All out has been painful, but I think I needed to be honest for once. Comments. Comment 1. Here's the advice you claim to want. Stop dating. Period. Get a job, support yourself, go to therapy, and actually figure out who you are without man footing the bill. Until you can do that, you're not relationship material. Comment 2. Wow, I'm shocked. Who could have guessed that cheating in your first relationship would lead to cheating in your second? Truly groundbreaking plot twist, Sophia. What's next? You meet another guy, swear you've changed, and the cycle starts over? Netflix should give you a show. Comment 3. The part where you said you wanted stability and then kept running to guys with no ambition or random dudes in club bathrooms made me laugh out loud. Stability isn't something you actually want. What you want is someone else's wallet while you chase around bad boys. Congratulations, mission failed. Update. Well, wow. I wasn't exactly expecting a warm hug here, but some of you really went for the jugular in the comments. I asked for advice, not for people to act like I committed war crimes. Apparently half of you think I'm Satan in high heels and the other half think I'm some kind of cautionary tale Netflix should turn into a documentary. Cute. First off, yes, I've made mistakes. Repeated ones. Congratulations for pointing that out 100 different ways. I didn't notice until you said it. Sarcasm in case you missed it. I'm not denying I screwed up, but the way some of you talk, you'd think I'm the only woman on earth who ever cheated. Newsflash. I'm not. The only difference is I admitted it here, while most people keep their skeletons neatly tucked away. Second, I don't appreciate being called a freeloader or a parasite. I was a wife, I took care of a home, I cooked, I cleaned, I hosted dinners, I kept the place running. That has value. Not everything is about who brings in the paycheck. But I guess according to some of you, if I'm not grinding 9 to 5 at a cubicle, I'm useless. Good to know. And about the whole, you're selfish, you'll never change chorus. Thanks for the encouragement. Really. Because clearly the best way to help someone who admits they're struggling is to kick them while they're down and tell them they're hopeless. Maybe I should print out your comments and hang them on my fridge for inspiration. Here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here crying about how awful I am just because the internet told me so. I'm already moving forward. I actually just started a new job at a supermarket again. It's not glamorous, but it's mine, and it pays the bills. I'm in my own apartment, I'm independent, and yes, eventually I will meet someone new. I don't care if half of you roll your eyes at that. I'm not going to swear off men forever because you think I'm unworthy. People make mistakes, people grow, people move on. And whether you like it or not, I know I'll find love again. So, thanks to the people who offered real advice without sounding like drill sergeants. To the rest, I hope typing all that out made you feel superior. But here's the twist. I'm still standing, I'm working, I'm paying my bills, and I'm not done with life just because I've made bad choices. Call me delusional, but I believe I still deserve happiness. Anyway, that's the update. I've got a job, I've got my own place, and I'm not giving up on myself. If that makes me the villain in your eyes, fine. But villains have more fun anyway. This is my last post. Bye.